You know, this was not as good as I was expecting it to be. So Suburban Screams, John Carpenter's Suburban Screams, is John Carpenter's big return to the director's chair. So I was thinking this was going to be like good suspenseful horror, because that's what John Carpenter is good at. Unfortunately, it's not that. So this show is all based on a real story, based on true stories. And it does have like interview segments with the supposed real people who were involved in these situations. And it's intercut with reenactments of the events. So basically, it's kind of like a documentary miniseries, just each episode is a different thing. You've got four friends conjuring a spirit, a murderer escaping from prison and going on a further rampage, a haunted house, the Bunny Man, a cursed neighborhood because of the Native American and the European settlers like going at it and killing each other, and a very horrible phone stalker that's still happening today, apparently. Now, the first three, the conjuring of the spirit, the killer going on a rampage, and the haunted house, they're not very interesting. They're unfortunately not. The Bunny Man one I do find interesting because I know about the Bunny Man, because Bunny Man is an urban legend in Virginia. And I love urban legends because they're fascinating, because urban legends are always based a little bit on fact. And then it grows from there to become, supernatural, to become full-on horror, or just to become something super dull. But urban legends, while they're legends for a reason, they're all based, even if it's a teeny tiny bit, on some kind of fact that happened in the past. The one with the cursed neighborhood, also not very interesting, but the phone stalker one I thought was quite interesting because that's actually kind of scary, and I feel bad for this woman if this is actually really happening. Because it doesn't give any last names for these people, so it's really hard to look them up to see if they're actually based at all in any fact, if these are actually real, if they're actually true stories. The Bunny Man one is easy to look up because it's a well-known urban legend. So it's like, okay, that's legit. Well, legit to a certain degree. But the rest of them, it's like, you can't prove that they're real just by looking them up. And honestly, that bothered me a little bit, because when it comes to like the supernatural or serial killers and just shit like that, it's fascinating stuff. It really is. And when I read about it, I want to be able to research it. Or if I watch something, I want to be able to research it a little more to just figure out what's going on, to learn more about the situation. And Suburban Screams doesn't really allow you to do that because it doesn't give full names of the people. Ultimately, Suburban Screams, it's not at all what I expected. The reenactments, I think, are shot very, very well because you do have a master behind the camera. But the problem is, it's just the stories themselves overall are just not interesting. They're not suspenseful. And with the exception of the phone stalker one to a certain degree, they're not really that scary. When I heard about this show and I saw the trailer, I felt like it had a lot of potential, especially with John Carpenter involved. But this was way below my expectations. I don't think it's Carpenter's fault, because all he did was direct it. So I don't entirely blame him. I blame the boring-ass material that it's supposedly based off of. I'm going to give John Carpenter's Suburban Screams, I'm going to give it a C-.
Did you enjoy the review? Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to get notified when more reviews go live. Feel free to leave a comment to discuss your thoughts on the movie or show, and I will see you next time.